Today I'm doing something that I've wanted to do since I got my 3D printer, which was over 5 years ago. I have finally found a way to record time lapses without buying any new gear, not needing to buy a new camera or anything like that. Time lapsing is cool no matter what you're recording. I remember as a kid in the 90s, there were always these amazing plant time lapses, and it always came with a story of some overzealous cameraman that lived in the wilderness to record the entire life cycle of some plant. So cool. 3D printing is wondrous. You actually create something from nothing, and showing the process unfold is mesmerizing. For a 3D print time-lapse to look respectable, it's not enough to just record the entire print and then fast forward it. If you do that, you see the nozzle on the bed erratically dancing around the entire process. So the secret behind a 3D print time-lapse is to position the nozzle and the bed in the same place at the end of every layer and take a single image per layer, and then you get that smooth something out of nothing effect. If you have a Raspberry Pi connected to the printer, you could easily initiate an image at the end of every layer after you position the nozzle and the bed wherever you want. I don't have a Raspberry Pi, so I'm going to do it a bit differently. The shutter from my tripod easily connects to my phone via Bluetooth. This build is going to require two prints, one to hold the shutter and another to hold a finger that will press the shutter button at the end of every layer. Once you start the practical side of a project, it always starts with a bunch of measurements and a nice little drawing. I also find that the more you put into the actual measurements and drawing, the easier it is to actually do the design. Now, sometimes designs can be pretty straightforward, but other times they can get complicated and really frustrating. So best to take good measurements. I gave a lot of thought to the finger, and I'm pretty proud with what I came up with. Simple, clever, and does the trick. I need to find out exactly what the position of Y is for the rubber to press the shutter. So I'm going to manually move it until I get there. And then that value I can input into the G-code so that after every layer I can just send it to that position and press the shutter. Okay, now let's go back to 0, see if it presses it. I'm trying to get the exact distance. I don't want it to press too hard every time. The stability of the piece that's holding the shutter will wear down with time. So if I can minimize the stress that it receives on every layer of every print, it will be better than stressing it out every time. The Cura slicing software has post-processing scripts that enable you to do various things with your prints. For instance, you can pause the print at a certain layer to either insert magnets or swap the color of the filament. Bear in mind that my Ender 3v2 is pretty old-fashioned. Today's printers have the option to use more than one filament color or even do time lapses with built-in cameras for that matter. One of the built-in scripts is called Timelapse, but I found that the X and Y positions are sent simultaneously. This would work fine if the shutter is initiated only after they both arrive at their position. But in my case, we're going to be using the Y axis to initiate the shutter. We want to make sure that the X is already in position before this happens. So I just went into the code and I split the lines into two. Worked like a charm. That's the setup. We've got the iPhone, we've got the shutter that's connected to a power cable, the shutter's in place, we have our pencil finger, and it's going to go boom, boom, boom every time. Let's wish good luck and start the print. The first attempt came out very stringy, and I needed to go back and update how much the filament is retracted back into the nozzle each time I send the motors to their parking position. The second attempt was much better, but I decided mindlessly to turn off the light to go to bed, effectively destroying the time lapse. The third time worked like a charm. So from now on, if I want, I can time-lapse my 3D prints. It's important, but it's mainly cool, and it will justify the DIY expert reputation I'm trying to build here. Next week, I'm going to give a recap of a few of my recent projects, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.